Okay. Hello. Now, glaze is just a term that has taken the world by storm and honestly has probably set society back. I mean, literally, you can say anything. It's glaze. Glazing is crazy. But of course, with such a word as glaze and, great units coming out in Dokkan, fan favorite units, units that people just love. There are naturally just going to be a bunch of units that are just glazed by the community. As such, today we're going to be counting off the top 10 units in Dokkan who deserve the glaze. Now, coming in at number 10, we have STR Cooler. Now, Cooler, it's pretty self-explanatory why a dominant unit like Cooler is on here. Actually made STR Cooler so dominant was his support, right? Specifically his transformation boost category support of 2 key and 30% attack and defense prior to his EZA, which got bumped up to 50% after he got his EZA. And just the fact that his links were so good, his transformation restriction was so good to transform into his, his final form. And in his final form, back in the day, he's doing guaranteed crits against just pretty much every relevant fight. 70% of the game probably had a pure or hybrid Saiyan enemy. Doing some of the best damage in the game for the time, 2019 to 2020. Which was like his, his prime, you could say. He also got an EZA, and his EZA was solid, right? He kind of did the job for what he needed to do. He stacked defense. He could become respectable against normals. He kind of got fried by super attacks, but, he was just kind of there to wank the LRSTR Cooler, who came out during the 2022 Worldwide Download Celebration. He did a pretty good job of doing, right? Cooler... STR Cooler is just, he was literally one of the most glazed units that I can possibly remember. And I've played this game for a while. Maybe even the most glazed unit, who knows? But, he definitely deserves it. That's going to be STR Cooler. He's going to come in at number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Now, coming in at number 9, it's Tech Trunks and AGL Zamasu. Specifically pre-EZA. These two, when they dropped on JP for Golden Week of 2019, they kind of became like a meme, right? First of all, they were really good TURs, right? Trunks was, arguably the best TUR in the entire game, and he dominated the Legendary Goku event, which came out about a month after he released. Actually, it was more like 2 weeks. He stacked in his Super Saiyan transformation, which he could transform on, his next turn after appearing, or, turn 3. If you didn't get him slot 3, he'd transform on his second appearance, basically, right? And then, in that form, he stacked attack and defense, and he was building up his passive 4 key up to 80% attack and defense, which was pretty good. It led him to be very, very tanky. He could literally easily double-digit tank in UI Goku, even with type disadvantage. He had pretty good links, and then you could transform him into his nuke mode, but there was really no reason to do this except for like a final kill after you've stacked all the way up, because he loses a lot of his defense, right? Unless you get like OD orbs. And then Zamasu, he's doing his thing, right? 40% damage reduction is not it led him to be tanky enough defensively prior to his EZA, right? Even with the fact that he got no defensive buff. And he was just kind of a strong unit, right? He was just a unit that was okay defensively, did a lot of damage, had really good links, linked super well with, his Goku Black counterparts. And then he also had his final transformation, which was just like a death blow to the enemy. He did a lot of damage in this form, but he could, he loses 20% damage reduction, so he could potentially take more damage, a lot more. Unfortunately, Trunks' EZA wasn't really that good, but Zamasu's EZA was pretty solid. The reason they're here, though, is because, their banners were so good that they'd literally have everybody, saying, oh yeah, no, don't summon on any of the banners. You should skip every banner until these guys come out because their banners are just so good. Which, don't get me wrong, they were. Beautiful! They had Broly, physical Broly and AGL Gogeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, who were some of the best TURs in the entire game. They were OD good as well, and they were on these banners. They had people literally saying, skip anniversary, the 4th anniversary on Global, just to save for these guys, who would, come out in November. These were just really, really good units that I'm surprised don't get talked about more often, right? This was a really good world dual Dokkan Fest for a non, Goku and Vegeta type celebration. Really, really dope. But that's going to be Trunks and Zamasu. They're going to come in at number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Now, coming in at number 8, it is Physical Vegito Blue. Mainly, we're going to be talking about his EZA counterpart because his EZA, back when it came out in 2020, a little bit after the Blue Fusions came out, this guy was just the best TUR. Beerus, Cooler, Kefla, it didn't matter, right? He even, he came out a little bit even earlier on Global than he did on JP, and I mean, he was just dominant. The 50% from his super attack effect, plus, a potential triple, maybe quadruple super, he's just doing so much damage with his counters, and he's tanking very well because he's got 40% damage reduction. And he's, solid defensively because he's building up defense on super attack effect. His links are really good, right? He's got the prepared for battle and over in a flash, unlike his, Tech Vegito Blue counterpart. This guy was just great. There's literally nothing bad to say about this guy. He's just, he's a pretty simple unit. He just does damage and he counters. GG. Physical Vegito Blue, he's going to come in at number 8. Let's move on to number 7. Coming in at number 7, it is Inked LR Vegeta and Trunks. Now, first of all, this unit was just great, right? Amazingly, supremely designed. Really good leader skill. Literally the best leader skill in the game for a while, probably until the 8th anniversary. They're stacking attack and defense on their 18-key super attack. They've got, guaranteed guard for the first 5 turns and an extra 70% defense. And the condition on that is just have a bond of parent and child category ally on the turn when they come in, which is literally so free because, I mean, it's literally any Goku, a Vegeta after the Android Saga. Like, there's just so many units that literally fall on. It's a free condition. And then they're building up. This is back, when they're so tanky that they're able to build up their defense, even though it's a bad mechanic. But they were so good defensively that it just basically didn't matter. And bosses weren't hitting super OD hard turn 1 back then. And then they're getting 70% attack and defense in the first, as the first attack on the turn. And this does pop, right away. Unlike a lot of previous units where this pops after they attack. It popped like literally as soon as the turn started. And they get guaranteed guard. The most potently powerful thing about them was their active skill though. Did a lot of damage, give them guaranteed crits, and then it raised all allies' defense by 20% active skill buff for the turn. Just super good, right? Played a really awesome animation. They got great links. I mean, they're just a great defensive unit that did some good damage, right? They were just super strong. They literally dominated every single event in the game. They couldn't be touched. They were dominant. A unit that I don't see talked about enough. They're so good. Were so good. That's going to be LR Ant Vegeta and Trunks. They're going to come in at number 7. Let's move on to number 6. Now, coming in at number 7, it's Int Janemba. Int Janemba, he is very good. Right now, thanks to his super EZA, but he was also, literally the best EZA in the game for, 2 straight years. Literally a must pick up with every red stone you got, every, big time celebration. And he was just, super good. The guaranteed guard plus the super solid defense with the really good link set and, the dodge, the pretty good damage. It just led to him being, the best TUR for a very, very long while. And, now, of course, he's got his super EZA, which is also just pretty good. He's got basically 90% dodge in slot 1 or slot 3 prior to his attack. He's supporting all allies with 2 key and 40% defense, which is just super good. He's very solid defensively, does pretty decent damage. He's just really, really, really strong. Definitely one of the better super EZAs we've gotten. And that's, it's given for such a dominantly strong unit. That's going to be Int Janemba. He's going to come in at number 6. Let's move on to number 5. And now coming in at number 5, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Tech Ultimate Gohan. Now, you know him. I've talked about this guy for so long. I could literally go on, but greatly stacking plus guard, too strong for 2020 Dokkan. Just a dominant combination that was really super ahead of its time. for like 2 straight years, Tech Ultimate Gohan was a meme. I've seen enough. Tech Ultimate Gohan's better. Bad Link set prior to the Link level update, but with the Link level update, which he came out with basically, he came out a little bit after, I believe. Saiyan lineage became a really good key link, and it led to him being pretty good key wise, especially with him building up his key at the start of each turn. He had a solid little transformation where he can transform into Ultimate Gohan, and he'll do some solid damage. He'll get a stun chance, become super effective against all types. And, his easy A, it's not bad, right? He could be a solid little floater, potentially quadruple super attacking. Like, I feel like he'd be really good, if he kept his damage reduction, right? Instead of just for 1 turn from his entry turn, just give it to him permanently. Oh man, he would be pretty solid. Because I feel like Dokkan has just gotten to the point where, like, you need so many forms of, like, tech to be able to survive bosses, right? You need guard, you need damage reduction, both, not one or the other. You need, like, stacking, you need a bunch of just tech, or, dodge chance, just lots of things. Otherwise, you get fragged and literally just destroyed instantly. But that's going to be Tech Ultimate Gohan. He's going to come in at number 5. Let's move on to number 4. And now coming in at number 4, it is AGL UI Goku.
No. Wait.
The most noble and supreme form in all the universe, whose radiant glow places him at the pinnacle of all beings in existence. The truly transcendent one, the one above all. I mean, it's UI Goku, bro. Like, come on, dog. Like, are you kidding me? When he came out on the 6th year anniversary, he was obviously the best unit in the game for basically the entire year. Really strong super attack effect of giving himself 50% chance to crit for the turn per super attack he does. And then, he's building up his defense with a dodge. And then he's got 70% chance to dodge, building up ki. He's got the revive, got a solid little active skill, really good links. And then, you talk about his Easy A, which his Easy A is just easily one of the most immaculate, awesome, spectacular, tremendous, fantastic, whatever you want to say, Easy A's of all time.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Just super good super attack effect, giving allies crit chance, giving him lots of damage. And, he's got the 77% chance to dodge. Plus, he builds up 7% chance to dodge each time, so it's just 84, then it's 91, then it's 98, then it's 100% chance to dodge. And of course, he's got guaranteed dodge for the first turn. He's building up his ki and defense as he dodges. He's doing a lot of damage, right? He can be at 24 ki and above 77% HP. He can be anywhere from 15 to 20 million attack stats with guaranteed crits. Then he's got his revival condition, 77% HP or less. It's kind of random, but if you have it, you're basically locked in and free for that turn. You don't gotta worry about dying. And then once you pop his revive, he gets another turn of guaranteed dodge. I mean, his active skill is even better now. UI Goku, man, he's immaculate, bro. He's UI Goku, dog.
I'm built different.
He is lore accurate UI Goku, and that I love. That's going to be UI Goku. He's going to come in at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Now, entering the top 3, at number 3, we have Carnival Tech LR Broly. Now, Broly is just super duper good. He's kind of basic, but he's just great. And everybody loves him. I don't see anybody hate on this guy at all, which I mean, for good reason, right? But he's just good. He's a great unit, and I think he's great glazed even more than a great unit would be. Well, I mean, let's just talk about it, right? 90% damage reduction, first attacker in the turn, 70% in slot 2 or 3, and then crit support. He is baseline giving 2 ki and 60% stats to extreme class allies, which is a lot. He's got guard, a lot of defense, solid links. But then, I mean, turn 3, his second appearance, or, turn 1 if you want, you can transform him. His condition is literally free. It's actually free just whenever you want, which is just super good. Then he transforms into the legendary Super Saiyan of, evil incarnate, where he's got pretty solid super attack effects. I mean, his 12 ki is solid, right? I'll say it again. It was bad a year ago. It's bad 3 years ago, and it's terrible today. No defense on on any super attack effect is terrible. And once Broly begins to finally age, it'll be, I promise you, it'll be because there's no defense on his 18 key super attack. But I mean, he's got 50% damage reduction, baseline. And then for his first 3 turns, he's got 76 damage reduction percentage, which is just very good. Very, very high. He's building up key and crit chance with each attack performed. He gets a 50% chance to launch an additional super attack once he gets hit. I'm not gonna lie, that should just low-key be guaranteed, but whatever. He's got guard and 200% defense as the first attacker in the turn. You can get 3 key and another 50% chance to crit when, there's a pure or warrior raised on earth enemy. And then he can nullify the enemy, the enemy action with a 24 key attack. And then, on his 5th turn, or his second turn of being Legendary Super Saiyan, he gets just his active skill of 3 key and a permanent 26% attack and defense, which is just really, really good. That 5th turn, he's just dominance, right? He's dominance incarnate, where he's got his full kit active still. His links are really good. He's got both prepared for battle and shocking speed. He's just a very great unit. Like, they gave him everything he needs to succeed. His damage is really good. His defense is good. He's got tech, but he doesn't have like a game-saving tech like, another unit who will be on here soon. But he is very, very good. And he is more than deserving of the Glaze. He's going to come in at number 3. Let's move on to number 2. And coming in at number 2, it is the beast of a man, LR Beast Gohan, the Beast Riser, the Beast Dominator, Beast Man, him, whatever you want to call him. I mean, first of all, when he came out, his leader skill was just literally the best leader skill in the game. Still a pretty solid team. He does actually get defense on both super attack effects. Oh my god, so good. And, he can build up the defense with multiple stacks on his 18 key because he gets defense for 4 turns, which is very good. And he's stacking attack on his 18 key, which is good. He's got a unit super attack too, but now that, Orange Piccolo is kind of, not in the meta anymore, you don't really ever see it. But I mean, we all really know what makes Beast Gohan, right? The fact that he gets 60% damage reduction basically guaranteed if you have 24 key, which it's pretty free to get 24 key with this guy. Turn 1, and then you can have up to full 80% damage reduction with his super high stats and the guard, plus the fact that he's supporting allies with up to 5 key, so he's really good for his allies. He's, gets so much crit chance to the point where he's basically doing guaranteed crits. His damage is super respectable, and his defense, he's simply quite easily one of the strongest turn 1 defensive units in the entire game. Probably the strongest one without dodge. He is so good, he is so dominant, and he is just that guy. And we haven't even gotten to the most powerful part of his kit, which is his active skill taunt. 24 key, 158% defense, active skill buff, and then he just taunts the enemy. I mean, all enemy attacks are, target Gohan. And he tanks them all for like basically double digits if you've got his full passive active, and then he'll, he can take some damage without it. But I mean, hey, dude, it's beast, bro. He's been out for a year. I feel like everyone knows how dominant. This guy's been dominating for the entire past year, and he's still very good. Really good on the, the new 220% teams with, Vegito. Just a really great, immaculate unit. He's gonna come in at number 2, but he's not number 1. Now, call it recency bias, call it whatever, bruh. But coming in at number 1, it is Physical Glorio. Now, listen to me when I tell you this. Glorio is quite literally the most insane TUR I've ever used, ever. I've played for Physical Vegito Blues EZA, I've played for STR Cooler, I've played for Tech Ultimate Gohan, I played for STR Videl, the GT Dokkan Fest, STR Super Vegeta that first month he came out, Tech Trunks, AGL Zamasu, AGL Gogeta, Physical Full Power Broly, STR Gamma 1 and AGL Gamma 2, Physical God Goku, and Piccolo Jr. and Tech Ultimate Goku, Physical EZA. I played for STR Cooler, Glorio is just like, he feels just like, I don't even know. His power is just eye-popping, like literally wild.
You ain't shifting like me. You ain't.
Every time I use him, I'm literally blown away by how dominant he is. Like glory hole, whatever y'all want to call him, man. He's insane. You throw this guy in slot 3, and his damage is just ludicrous. If he triple supers, he gets 80% dodge. And he's not that weak against AoEs because he's still got a 50% chance to dodge just baseline. And his defense, like his defense post super, bro, he's gotta have like millions, easily a million, probably like 2 or 3 or something. I don't do calcs, but like this guy, I almost want to calc this guy's defense. He's doing so many super attacks. He's like, unless you're just like OD unlucky, which I mean, sometimes you'll get, like when I was using this guy against the Kid Buu red zone Kid Buu burst mode stage, there was one time that I got OD unlucky and he just like single super attack, and it was on like turn 18. Like, I mean, he was so like, he already stacked up by so much. Like, I mean, let's just go through it, right? So he gets 50% attack and defense baseline on his super attack effect. He's lowering the enemy's attack and defense, and then he's getting a permanent 9% attack and then 6% defense in battle, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when this guy is doing 3, 4, 5 supers every turn, that adds up very quickly. So basically, his defense is dominant. He's got 80% chance to dodge on top of that. His damage is like the best in the entire game outside of like Tech LR Tech Vegito, the brand new anniversary LR that comes out, and his counters just do stupid damage. But wait, that's not all. On top of that, he's giving all allies 1 key and 50% attack and defense for 3 turns. Now, 50 isn't the biggest, multiple turn buff we've ever seen, but that 77% is on what? Physical Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Trunks, and Super Saiyan Gohan unit, right? But they're nowhere near as just super good defensively as this guy is. Nowhere near. Not even in the same stratosphere. He's got an active skill, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this active skill doesn't really do much unless he's literally stacked up for like a billion years, but it does disable the enemy actions. It's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy condition. His links are solid, right? But he doesn't really need links because he supports. And bro, like this guy, I feel like it's impossible to overstate how dominant this guy is. He is just broken. Like literally any time that you can run this guy, you run him, right? His own team is really good. Accelerated battle of wits, demonic power, like that's just a really good team, bro. Like that's an amazing team. Like Glorio is #1, and honestly, when he first came out, I think he was the best unit in the game, over everyone. Now, I mean, obviously we got the anniversary LRs, but like Glorio he's gonna come in at #1, and he's gonna round off the list. Let me know what you thought of my list down below, whether you thought it was perfect as the algorithm would surely have it so. Let me know if you think anybody was snubbed or if you think that the order should have been different. But of course, thank you for watching. And as always, thanks for stopping by.